God, we still got
did
it. We still got it. Amazing.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, everyone.
We had a little break week.
We did have a
little snowstorm.
Yeah. Snowstorm.
Prevented
very busy.
me from traveling north in Colorado, but we're back.
Yeah.
And we have a fun movie topic to talk about today.
Very,
this
very
one,
fun.
Very close for you.
Very close to my heart. And behind this camera rests my pride and joy, my comic book collection. But yes, so today we're going to be talking about comic book adaptations. It could be superhero, indie comics, stuff like that. Mine is primarily superhero in the big two, either Marvel or DC. But
I personally brought 0 of the DC or MCU movies. I wanted to look at some of the other comic book to film adaptations that some people just might not even realize were a comic book, or just some of the, less famous comic book adaptations.
Yeah. So I think we're just going to give a spotlight to the big and the small and just kind of, celebrate just the medium itself and how great I think a lot of these films that we've listed have adapted the medium into film, and how they really respect the character and the source material, but also innovate and reinvigorate the property. So I want to start with mine.
Go for it.
If that's okay. Is that all right with you guys? Cool. So we're going to start with my number one. And my number one is The Batman, directed by Matt Reeves, cinematography by Craig Gillespie.
The Batman.
The Batman. The Robert Pattinson Batman.
Not any of the Dark Knight ones.
No.
Okay.
No. Now, I love the Nolan Batman films as much as the next person. I love them. But there's something about the Nolan films that I feel they ground the character more than the Batman. I think they ground the character too much. And I think the grounding of it eliminates a lot of, I think, the fantastical elements of Batman, but also kind of strips down Batman too much, in my opinion. Still, they're great films, but they're not as great of a comic book film as they could be. I think The Dark Knight is an amazing testament to cinema itself and just the acting and performances and the art form. But when it comes to comic book films as an adaptation, it takes its liberty, which then what inspired a lot of other comics following, from it. But taking the source material it had present did too much, I think. But when I look at The Batman, I see Matt Reeves and I think it's Mattson Tomlin also was the writer for it. I see their love for the source material, and I see their just, they go to town on just retooling and rebuilding it. It's not so much that they strip it down, but they just retool it to give that certain flair. Some of their bigger inspirations during that film were, Batman Year One by Frank Miller and The Long Halloween by Jeff Loeb and Tim
I was
Sale.
just going to say The Long Halloween, one of my favorite, one of the few, he reads way more comic books than I do. Long Halloween is one that I've actually looked into.
It's very good. So, when I look at that, when I look at the film, I see The Long Halloween. I see Year One. I see Batman Earth One by Jeff Johns. I see these panels come to life. Like Batman Earth One by Jeff Johns, the Penguin literally looks like Colin Farrell's Penguin, and it was just the spitting image. And as a comic book fan, it's so refreshing to see that. It's a love and just a adoration of the source material instead of trying to strip it down for movies. You don't need to strip it down for movies. You can put it into film. You don't have to, redo it and retool it for the big honchos or average audiences to get it, because a lot of audiences got it still. Freaking The Batman made so much money, buttloads of it, that they're going to make more. So of course they will. But
fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. But yeah, I think it's just a great film, but also a superhero film that feels like you're reading a Batman comic through the narration that Bruce has in the beginning and the end. I could just imagine the little speech bubbles in a panel. I can just imagine that. It's really good.
Yeah, and the first comic book to movie adaptation that I brought, I think actually lends a lot to what you're saying.
Well, let's
adapting the actual comic and the art and direction and feeling you get from reading a comic as opposed to watching a film. So the first one I brought, this is a huge one, and if you haven't seen it, please go see it because it's amazing. Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yes.
Cult classic film.
Very good.
One of the all-time comic book to film adaptations. It has all of that bubbling and sound effects and all of what you would normally see. They Edgar Wright, the amazing director, who's very his whole style is very kinetic. Energetic,
super kinetic.
And when you're reading comic books, they're also very kinetic. You're looking at the pictures, and then you have the words to make the scene.
Yeah.
And I feel like his movie brain works very well with comic books, and he's able to provide us with an amazing comic book film adaptation.
Yeah.
And
that's hilarious.
Yeah. So that's actually hilarious.
Yeah, no, it's like seeing the guitar fight scene and the battle of the bands and these amazing moments. It feels like it's ripped from a comic, but it works so well because I also think, kind of harkening back to the past episodes where we talk about what makes a good modern day filmmaker is utilizing the CGI and the effects you have, but also using the practical effects, but also your love for the writing. He does that really well, where he takes the advantage of film and the way that CGI and special effects work and blends it into the source material itself. And he doesn't do it too much. He doesn't do kind of like a Watchmen thing on it. Like he lets the
I did almost bring Watchmen, but the only reason why I didn't is because I found the movies specifically to not be good adaptations. I love the comic Watchmen, and the show Watchmen's pretty good. There's a current the show, the newer I didn't watch that one.
It's pretty good.
I remember you talking about it and telling me about it. But on HBO right now, there's like a Watchmen animated, basically. I want to call it like a remaster of the old movies, but it's not. It's basically just them saying like, hey, this is like how the story should be told if we're actually going off the comics.
Yeah.
And it uses, I swear they took like scenes from the original movie and then like just animated those exact scenes. I don't know if they did like one-for-one animation or just like put over something.
Rotoscope filter.
Yeah, I don't know if they I don't know exactly what they did, but like some of the scenes look one-for-one to the movie, but then they take out like the parts from the movie that didn't make sense, and then they add back from the comic the stuff that was removed, that was lost, and in one scene they literally poke fun of the movie because like two of the main characters, Owlman and Silk Spectre, they're together for the night, but Silk Spectre's married, and like they have kind of a chemistry, and in the movie, they do it. They just go ahead, and it's like this whole thing.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen in the comics, really. It's much more friendly, and yet like so in the animated, they would really go, well, I'm going to go home now to my husband. He's like, yeah, that's a really good idea.
Yeah. Almost as if they're, I don't know, bashing the adaptation.
Yeah. Anyways, tangent ended.
Scott Pilgrim. It's very good.
Very good.
So good.
What is the next comic book adaptation you brought?
Okay, so my number 2, I believe. I need to make sure. Okay, I'm sorry. So that's what I thought. So my number 2 is Black Panther, directed by Ryan Coogler, 2018 film. Black Panther, I think you can tell it's a passion project, and you can tell that it is like a love story to the culture, but also just like what made the comics and the Black Panther character so popular. It takes a lot of, back then in 2018, and still, it's actually just gotten worse, but it takes the political climate and distills it and puts it into a comic book shape, and really highlights Black Panther as a champion of the oppressed, as a champion of freedom, and a champion of just of intellectuals in a way, which is what Black Panther is and what he should be. So I found it really, really well done. I think the cinematography and the costuming really speak to what I think makes it a faithful comic book adaptation, and what even makes it something that comics later on adapted. Because Marvel has always been more so adapting the movies for their comics instead of adapting the comics for their movies, if that makes sense, where they follow, the movie trend and they want to have that MCU synergy, which it gets flack for and sometimes deservedly so. But I think with Black Panther, it was such a huge inspiration that Ta-Nehisi Coates, his storyline with Black Panther was heavily, inspired in the costuming and the artwork and just the storylines for, Coogler's Black Panther. But you could also see a lot of Christopher Priest's inspiration into Coogler's Black Panther and everything. And so, it's a great film, and it's such a great film to rewatch and just see it. And Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace. He was amazing.
He's
such
amazing.
A good actor. He is Black Panther. And so I think that was a really, really great film. And I see the love for the source material in it. It might not be a one-to-one recreation or, a distillation of the comics, but it really is a love letter to it. So I had to put it in there. It's really good. Yeah. What's yours?
The next one I brought is not fully a comic book. It's actually a graphic novel.
Whoa.
V for Vendetta.
Nice.
James McTeague's 2005.
Yeah.
That was one of the books that I had to read in high school. I was very excited to read, a graphic novel for school.
I never read.
Among others were Mouse, which
never. Yeah.
And if you know these, they're not always bright and fun. So V for Vendetta is a post totalitarian state UK.
That sounds really happy.
And
that sounds really positive.
I just think in terms of movies adapting from comic book, V for Vendetta hits the mark. It's a super recognizable film
very
and symbol. So that's the one I recommend.
I think we need a remake of V for Vendetta.
That would be really cool.
That'd be pretty sick. Alan Moore wrote V for Vendetta, right?
I don't know. My brain.
I think Alan Moore did.
I literally prepared the directors only.
No,
you
that's
can't
fine.
Ask me about the writers right now.
But Alan Moore, he's so prolific as a comic book writer. He did Swamp Thing. He did Watchmen. He did V for Vendetta. A lot of these things that then became films. He did League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah, he wrote League of Extraordinary. Yeah.
I completely blanked that one out. I should have brought that because I love that movie.
Yeah, Alan Moore's really his something about his comics really translate well to filmmaking, but also the real world. It's very nihilistic. He's not a happy writer.
Maybe that's why I enjoy Alan Moore's stuff.
You don't want to read it if you want to be happy. But Alan Moore is you gotta just give props to the guy. He's very, very good. So that's a great pick.
Yeah, thank you.
Vendetta. My other one that I think is you can't, when you talk about comic book adaptations and when you talk about kind of just the visual style of it all and how faithful of it is of an adaptation is it if it doesn't look like a comic book? And that's why I have the Spider-Verse films.
There you go.
The Spider-Verse films take comic book love and adoration to the next level. You're in animation. You're already in a place that's kind of akin to the comic book creative process. So why not? We're going to have Miles have different colors or kind of radiate different shades of colors because, that's what a misprint would look like on a comic. That's what that would look like. And I'm like, oh my God, that's freaking crazy. And we're going to have cell shading. And we're going to have this. And it's all going to be hand-drawn and hand-animated. And it's, and not hand-animated. They'll computer do it. But it's going to be, done by a team of artists. It's going to take years and years and years to get this one scene done. And it's a beautiful, these two films so far, and the third one coming out soon, fingers crossed, they're all amazing. And there is a love for the comic books and the adaptations. They literally tell the origin through comic book flipping, and they
slap down a comic book for every character introduction,
exactly.
And they go, all right, let's take it from the top.
Yeah. And there's Miles reads a Spider-Man comic, the issue of Amazing Spider-Man where Peter gets his powers. He reads it because he's feeling those same powers. And they also pay homage to the Miles Morales co-creators. In Miles's phone, some of his contacts is S. Pacelli, which is Sarah Pacelli, which was the artist who created him. There's B.M. Bendis, and that's Brian Michael Bendis, who wrote Miles Morales.
That's awesome.
And they have this like love for these creators. They have like Ditko and Lee and all this stuff. They have Stan Lee in the first one as a cameo. Like they really loved these comics and this huge. They knew that their inspiration was there. We have to pay it forward, and that's why it's such a great adaptation for me. Is that you can adapt the book and not pay it forward, which becomes pretty tone deaf. But then you adapt it and you pay it forward, and you have these creators being mentioned, and you have them being acknowledged, and it transcends the medium. It's so good. It's amazing.
You know, the next one that I brought also kind of falls under the like, hey, let's make this look like the actual comic. Sin City, Frank Miller, 2005, is actually a great comic book adaptation.
It's crazy.
And the art style of the film is completely made to look like the comics. There's a lot of different points in it. It being 2005 early, they're trying some really interesting, difficult to pull off shots, and I think they pushed a lot of boundaries with it. And did it work? Not all the time. Is the movie like a perfect thing? No. But in terms of adaptating it from its original comic book, I think the creators of it, like you said, they had a love for it. They saw it and said, let's pay it forward. If we're going to make this, we want to be true to it.
And the behind the scenes stuff in that film is amazing.
It looks
amazing. With like the use of black and white, and like because it was drawn in black and white, so we're just going to use it. And the pops, I think they have little pops of red here and there.
Yeah, like any of the blood is red, but then like usually the rest is black and white.
God, it was really cool just seeing the process. And I think they had to actually use a different color than white in some moments, I think, because it was too striking for the camera, and I think maybe I had to do some of it. I don't know.
Would imagine.
It's
for every single frame of your movie to be basically completely altered. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, and where you have to basically they tried to get rid of the lines in a face and like the lines in a human body. Like that's kind of what it looked like, because they had to move away from like. They had to make a live action film look cel shaded without using cel shading.
Yeah.
And that's oh my god. But even now it's hard. Like,
that's
the thing. Like when I talk about like, oh, we need to do this is a little different, but like going on a tangent where they're like, oh, we want to do an absolute Batman. We should do an absolute Batman adaptation in live action or something like that. And I'm like, well, you can't really. First of all, who the hell at 19 years old is going to be
as big as him?
As big as him. And the other thing is like, it's such a unique art style, and the proportions are crazy, and that's what makes it so cool, because they're inspired by like manga, and that's what makes manga so hard to make in live action.
Yes, that's whenever you see manga or just anime to live action, there's always a huge struggle, because if you're an actual fan of manga and anime, you know that it like a lot of it is exaggerated to create the feeling and movement that you can't normally access. Yeah. And so then when you see it in live action, it becomes uncanny a lot of the time. Yeah. And like I think that was the biggest thing with the One Piece adaptation. Like it still did well. Yeah. People ended up coming around and liking it, but for a while people had to be like, whoa, okay.
It looks a little Spy
I can look past it. Like it looks a little Spy Kids. It's uncanny. But upon watching it, they're like, okay, like there was more to it than just the effects, and like, okay, they're really trying to get it, and like, so, yes,
yeah, that's why you should just make an absolute Batman anime.
Have you heard that? Like, I don't know if Alan Richardson himself wants to, or if it's just people like fan casting him.
I think
he's definitely too old to do like immediate, but I've heard at least that people are like, yeah, he's the size for an absolute Batman.
I don't even think so. Like, absolute Batman's huge. Like, he's like, sure, Richardson would be very good, but then the other thing is like, who the hell are you going to cast for Bane? Like, are you like,
well,
because then you're going to have to get like some CG green screen stuff.
I feel like every iteration of Bane, except for Tom Hardy, is completely impossible. True, and even the Tom Hardy Bane is nothing like any comic book counterpart.
You'd have to do like a Mark Ruffalo Hulk.
At least physically, appearance-wise.
You'd have to do like a mocap thing.
Yeah.
So, Yeah.
It would be difficult.
Oh my god. Yeah. So
But I would love to see that Scarecrow, which just came out, the comics with Absolute Batman
Absolute
Scarecrow. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Looks amazing. But yeah, so
Coraline eyes.
yeah, the Coraline eyes are crazy. But nice. Yeah. No, Sin City is that's a deep pick.
Deep cut.
That's a deep cut. So yeah, let's see. My other ones here. Okay. So I know these are my honorable mentions.
Okay. The next three I haven't read the comics for, so
Okay.
they're also semi honorable mention.
They're honorable mentions for, I think, because I feel like these are not like the most obvious ones, I guess, and like these are just ones that I see that I think they're a lot more subjective for me. They're a lot more just like I think they're great. I have Amazing Spider-Man 1, and
Sam Raimi's?
No.
Oh wait, no, The Amazing.
The Amazing Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield. His first one and also his second one. I'm gonna kind of lop them into the two.
Because the second one's not allowed to be mentioned by itself.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think what I really like about it is I might get flagged. I think Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is the best Spider-Man.
I can see.
Maybe not the best overall, but his Spider-Man is literally what I think of when I read the comics. When I see him in the comics, I'm like, oh, that's Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. Because I think in an interview he talked about like his way of performing as Spider-Man, and he was like, I'm performing it like I am a spider, like I am a, human who now has the inclinations of a spider. Where you see it like sometimes when he like bends down on the ground and he does like a little like a pulse and he just gets like really scared and nervous, or like when he's on the ground with Lizard and he's like gonna fight him, he like raises his hands in like an offensive stance like a spider, and like he raises his limbs.
Well, I mean, like I've always seen him hit the mark, like Spider-Man when he's listening, or his thing goes off,
Sure,
hit the superhero pose.
Sure, but the other thing is like it's not so much like the hero pose, it's more like how, all right, when he got bit by the spider in The Amazing Spider-Man, he like has this like nervous tick, and like when he gets like a web off of his neck, he's like,
I remember that.
Yeah.
That was weird.
and he like does this with his hand, and he's like, oh Jesus, and that's like this behavioral tick that he added, which no other like Toby was just like, oh, I have muscles, I got muscles now, bro, and then like Tom Holland is like, we never seen him get bit by the spider.
Well, because we've seen it so many times.
Absolutely. But the way Andrew Garfield did it had a nuance to it. He was weird. He was like all funky.
I can see that.
He was like, oh, I'm like Spider-Man. I got
not just,
bug.
huh.
Yeah, he's like, whoa.
Let me take my glasses off.
Yeah, what am I feeling? Yeah, oh, did I, you don't get memes from it. You don't get the stardom from it, but it still is neat. So I think that's one way it's an honorable mention of like being a good comic adaptation. I also think
so it's specifically like Andrew Garfield's performance.
His performance, but also in terms of like filmically, they have moments where it's like goes into first person when he's swinging and stuff, which is really
I do remember there was a few first person.
They have the Gwen Stacy death, and like that's the pose, like he holds her, and that's like the literal cover.
Yeah,
like looking at Green Dot, like that's it. That's straight up.
They did it.
And so I think there are moments.
Oh wait, I have a. Hold on, quick. Picture from Gwen Stacy and Spider-Man.
Oh my god.
Where is it? Oh no.
We don't need to be reminded of the death. We don't need to But no, anyways, Amazing Spider-Man, very good. I think it has some great homages to it. It's not like an overall great comic adaptation, but it has a nice spot in my heart, and it was very good. So that's my honorable mention. What are some others?
Next up. 1994, Chuck Russell's The Mask.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for a long time, I actually didn't know that The Mask was a comic book until I saw like someone talking about it on YouTube.
I've never read The Mask either, yeah.
Yeah, so I watched the movie a bunch, especially when I was younger, loving it. Hilarious. I would confidently rank it as a cult classic. I'm not sure how many actual screenings. I'm sure if you looked around, you could find some. but it's definitely a household name, especially being associated with Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey being a legendary comedic actor of our generation and our parents.
Yep.
And, I mean, perhaps a lot of it should be attributed to Jim Carrey's performance, but I thought the effects and everything that they did were amazing. They weren't too over the top.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, they were over the top in the way that the mask should be, and it was specifically for him. And then they, a lot of the time, blended in practical, which, you know, I love.
Yep.
And so it never felt so uncanny, or when it did feel uncanny, it was exaggerated for him specifically, so it looked like his comic book counterpart, and like his skull literally like pops out of his head. A normal human can't do that. And those animations are also, I think, similarly set up. Maybe not as to the extreme, but like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, they did an amazing job blending over that. But not comic. I will retract. The Mask.
We can tangent. This is a podcast.
And you know, we always got to talk about everything. But yeah, I think The Mask pulls it off
for sure
very well.
It's very good.
You know, we don't have to talk about the sequels, just the first one.
Yeah. No, The Mask, I think, they cast someone who can be a comic book character.
Like he has a moldable phase.
He does. And I think they really, the medium and the property leans towards the actor and leans towards the talent. Like, this is a guy that you know. Same with like him being the Riddler in a way. Like,
yeah, like, I could kind of see it. It was definitely weird, but
and it was a product of the time.
I think that entire movie was, as you said, product of the time.
It was
a little weird. Everything about it was a little weird.
And so it's, I think it's really good. I watched it. It's been a while since I watched it, but I remember watching it. It was a funny movie. But the thing is that I've shout out to Adam Overman, a fellow comic book fanatic. He talked about how The Mask is actually low-key a terrifying comic.
Yeah, apparently, the main characters are usually not good people.
No.
And the Mask doing terrible, crazy things.
Yeah, The Mask is like a super powerful artifact.
Yeah.
But they do a 90s thing, and they're like, let's make it funny. Let's sell the toys to the kids. Let's
make it a family film.
But we're still going to have Jim Carrey deliver an iconic performance and have it be a cult classic. So, yeah, The Mask is a good one.
All right. Yeah. What up next for you?
So this is my last one.
Okay.
And this is... It's very good, but I put it in my honorable mentions. Let me make sure. Okay, yes. Captain America, The First Avenger.
Okay.
The very first one. For some reason, it's been on the TV a lot, and so I've just watched it in passing. I look at that and I'm like, wow, like that is a pulpy World War II comic.
I can definitely see that, yes.
Brought to the screen. Because Captain America, for those of you not, inclined, he was a World War II character, and he punched the bad guy, the bad guy,
the bad guy.
And that cover is like iconic. First of all, they recreate it in the movie, but I think what they bring is like they take that Americana and like the poppy bright colors, but they also take like the wartime effort and they take the grittiness of it, but then they also bring this like light, fun flair that the comics have. And so it's not a one-for-one recreation of Captain America, but it also is a great remembrance of it. And what, there's the moments where he's on stage and he's in the classic suit. Like he is in the spandex, the silver wings, and like that's it. And he's got the shield crest and everything. And he punches.
He's looking good.
Yeah, and he does the famous punch. And the lighting is like that same poppy look that the comics have. And it even adapts some of the Ultimate Captain America stuff. Not the new Ultimate Captain America, but the old one. Except him saying, does this A on my head stand for France? Except that. Except, anti-immigrant Captain America. They adapt, I think, some of his origin. They adapt, I think, his love for Peggy and stuff like that. And, mold that a little bit more. But yeah, I just watching it, I'm like, wow, it's really, I can see it. It's this classic, I think more comic book movies actually should be period pieces. But it's a great period piece film. But yeah, it's great homage to the old Americana comics that Captain America spawned out of. It's very good. Yeah, I'd rewatch it.
Any Dungeons and Dragons players, if you want a really good example of a paladin crown, vow of the crown, Captain America is a really good representation of those ideals.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I should say, actually, I'll have you do yours.
Okay. Yeah. This next one I brought. I've seen the movie. I've not read the manga that it's based off of.
Yeah.
And also, I'm not going to recommend anyone actually watch this because it's a rough one. It's a rough, weird one to watch. Okay. But I just wanted to talk about it a little bit because it is a manga too. Old Boy. Specifically, the one I wanted to talk about is Park Chan-wook's 2003 one, because the one that kind of came after with Josh Brolin is not as good. Apparently,
it's not really good when us Americans go and crack at it.
Apparently, Old Boy is quite similar to its manga counterpart. I think it's just a crazy, interesting film that if you like something kind of like weirdly dark and like a brain kind of messy thing, check it out, Old Boy. And there's some famous scenes, right? Some famous scenes in it, specifically one being the hallway fight scene. That's a huge one for fight choreography in film. Another one that I like to bring up is there's a scene where the main character, he's in a restaurant and he grabs a live squid and he bites into it. And for filming it is a real live squid and the guy just did it and it's like grabbing onto his face as he's biting. And that one shot was so powerful enough and, cool enough that it's been used for other projects. Example being Kong Skull Island, when he's eating the giant octopus Kong. They used Old Boy as reference footage for that.
Hope you guys like calamari.
Yes. Yeah. So it's it's hard to talk about Old Boy.
Yeah, but no, I haven't seen Old Boy myself. But it does seem like a trip.
It's interesting. It's a vibe. You watch it. Yeah. I think it's one that you should watch by yourself once.
Okay.
If you want to watch it with other people, you can, but that's your prerogative.
Okay. All right, cool.
Did you have one more that you thought
of?
Yeah,
I think one more I thought of. It's another Batman film, actually. There's just been so many. But I do think Danny Elfman's Batman saga, the two, I think is also a really good love letter to the comics, especially of the time where you had like Neil Adams and you had these writers and illustrators having these really amazing gothic, picturesque, what am I talking about? These gothic landscapes of Gotham, but also just like the foreboding gargoyle of Batman and stuff. Danny Elfman really took that to heart with the production design in those two movies. Like when you look at Gotham, I think first of all it was a miniature set, but like the gothic statues on the buildings and like the neon drenched streets and like it was so good and like that felt like Gotham. Like you felt like you were there because Gotham. Again, my gripe with the Nolan films is that it was just Chicago.
Yeah, it was just a city. Gotham, whenever it's in the comics or portrayed in, I feel like any animated medium, it's this very unnatural looking city.
Like you'd question why someone lives there.
It's almost kind of BioShock looking. There's like tons of bridges, arches.
It's like Art Deco meets like, Baroque Gothic. Yeah. It's a lot of clashing arts.
It's a very strange city to look at, and maybe I'm wrong, but whenever you look at Gotham, I feel like it has one of those looks about it. Like, oh, is that Gotham? That's Gotham.
Exactly. Like you'd be like, oh, that's Gotham. Like Metropolis.
Yeah, Metropolis, very shiny, pretty, open.
Yep. Daily Planet. Like
It got that skyline.
It has the skyline, and so yeah, I think Danny Elfman really took the comics to heart there. Very good films, actually, the two of them. But yeah, so that was my last. Oh, also with Jack Nicholson's Joker, actually, is a very, very good Joker for the time too. And that's what's really cool about my last tangent. That's what's really cool about Batman, Joker, like all these staple heroes, is that they evolve with the times really well. Especially the Joker and especially Batman. Like Batman can change like drastically from 1989 to 2026. The dude now wears blue and gray again, and like yellow, and he's brighter, and he's got a bunch of Robins, and then there's a different version of him that has an axe on his chest and is as a demon, as a villain. Like, it's nuts. It's crazy. You should read all of that.
The absolute Batman line is awesome.
It's amazing. It's been like top 10 on the charts for the past year, so it's great.
Darkseid really hates Batman.
It really hates Batman.
Like, there's levels to this hatred.
the rage baiting needs to be studied. But yeah, so what's yours?
The last one I brought, an action movie that I love to watch, especially just to like throw on. If like I got like friends over or whatever, it's a great background action crap, and it also comes on TV, on DirecTV every now and then.
There you go.
But Dredd, and specifically Pete Travis's 2012 Dredd with Carl Urban. No shade to Sylvester Stallone. I just found the Carl Urban, Pete Travis one much more interesting and better.
Alex Garland, he wrote that. He wrote 28 Days Later. He wrote.
I didn't know that he wrote
Ex Machina.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Alex Garland, he knows ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. He knows ball. Shout out Alex Garland.
Yeah, the 2012 one has always just been such a fun one for me.
Yeah, really stylish.
It's super stylish and
grimy.
Super grimy.
Yeah.
One of the big kind of like aspects, at least of the story in this movie, is that there's a new drug hitting the street, and if you've ever played Fallout, it's basically just Jet, where it's an inhaler, you hit it, and then time slows down around you. Or I guess Turbo is what it is in Fallout, technically.
Yeah.
But I digress.
I'm aware.
I digress. The scenes where they show the character, any character hitting, I forget what they call it in the movie right now.
Their inhaler.
You get this super extreme slow-mo, and then it becomes all glittery, and it's moving at such a slowed pace that it's almost like you get to see the very cool impact frames and different cells of the comic, but since it's still moving and going through the scene, you're still getting that movie aspect. But you get to see the close-up, like all the details, like this is the crazy bit happening here. A door gets blown open and you watch a guy's side like getting hit by the blast and his skin ripples and blows across and it looks devastating, but all they did was like hit the guy with like some compressed air for that effect with high frame rate, and it looks amazing. And I just feel like for an action comic, this movie is hitting the mark, fitting the bill, and it makes the namesake of the comic and movie, the character, super badass, seem like a force to be reckoned with, and I feel like Carl Urban's portrayal of Dredd was killer.
Carl Urban's a great actor.
He's an amazing actor, and he's been in so many different projects.
Yeah. Dude gets money.
He is
knows
amazing.
When to get a paycheck. Absolutely, he's very good.
He loves his job.
He loves it. Yeah. Oh my God. It's Yeah, these are some great picks. I think, like, I love that you showed more on the indie stuff, too, because, like, there's some great stuff. And I think indie comics, at a time now, too, where the industry is so risk-averse, I think it really needs the time to shine. Like,
hey, there's more stuff out there.
There is more stuff. Like, you look at...
If you don't know what to do, there's tons of things.
There's so much.
There's a bunch of things we've even done before, or that you've done before, that's worked.
Y'all look at Invincible, how it's amazing, and people still watch it, and it does gangbusters.
We're not expecting any live action Invincible.
No, but I'm still. Okay. But still, like, you look at the success of these indie comics. We're Invincible, and you look at you look at Dredd, and you look at this stuff, and
one other one that I was thinking of bringing but didn't bring. My favorite comic book hero, he's in some DC, but he's technically a Dark Horse property. Hellboy. Absolutely love Hellboy, and then specifically the first two movies with Ron Perlman. I think are excellent adaptations.
Really good.
Love. What is it? Lesser take here. The Golden Army is a very entertaining Hellboy movie, and I liked it.
Well, there you go.
And
you
also,
can flame him in the comments.
one last thing.
What is
With the Hellboy movies, they have such an amazing blend again of practical and CGI. One of my favorite practical things they have is like there's this big ogre guy, and he has this huge gauntlet, which is part of the whole practical outfit.
Yeah.
That has a huge like mace on it. And there's like controls on the inside, so you can drop the mace down, and it's a huge chain, and the monster can swing it around, and then on the inside you press like this motor, and then it retracts the chain through a custom like piece that the creator for the piece.
That's crazy.
There's a whole video where he talks about it with Adam Savage, and it pulls it back in, and it's all working, and it's such a cool like piece of movie art, and. It should be in a museum.
That's Del Toro for you. Like you don't know Del Toro is.
Del Toro does not mess around when it comes to like the world building and the worlds and the monsters within his worlds.
He loves the practical stuff too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think what's great is that I think more independent stuff should be shown. I know that I just started reading the series Ice Cream Man, which is that one? Oh my god. I'll tell you more about off air, but holy crap, it's a lot. It follows an ice cream man, but is he really an ice cream man, or is he the harbinger of death?
Oh, is he like Sweet Tooth?
No. It's like, is he a human, or is he like a cosmic entity?
Oh, so he's not like a psychopath.
No, but you don't want to mess with him. It's terrifying. So it's an anthology series.
Interesting.
That is being adapted, I think, in Amazon. So that's going to be really good. Really promising stuff. So, yeah, if you notice maybe a little different look, there's lights now. We
got new lights.
We're upping our production value.
We got new lights. We were using mine for a bit. They were kind of old panels, but now we got new
lights.
Matt Team's got these fancy schmancy ones.
Really? Oh, so fancy.
You know, if you want, you can leave in the comments a shade, because these do more colors. If you want to see a different color variation,
if you want to see some hues.
Let us know.
Yeah. But no, that's pretty much it. You know, I think my last kind of thing is comic book adaptations should really strive to embrace the source material. I think
it's got to embrace the visual medium.
You do.
The fact that it's such a specific visual medium. If you're not embracing that, then you're not embracing the comic book of it. You're just embracing the story of it.
Exactly. And you try to break it down, and that doesn't work. And so, you know, I'd say that because, you know, I saw the Lanterns trailer and it looks good, but it certainly doesn't look like what it should be or could be. And that's what I mean is just keep the source material tight. Hug it tight, okay? Please. Don't let it go. But anyways, in brownest day and brownest night, that's all from us, folks.
No comics will escape our sight.
No, absolutely. Or movies.
Let us know of any other comic book to movie adaptations you might know of, or that you recommend us see.
100%. Yeah.
And we'll see you next week.
See you next time.
Bye.
Oh, happy Oscars.
Oscars. It's Oscar season.
Yeah, this summer.